And finally, we're all looking at each other like, hey, it's actually right here in front of us. Now we have the team in here because we'd like to open up this floor for questions and answers. And I think this will be the best opportunity for you to ask your question. Come up here so everybody can hear the question, and then we'll answer the questions accordingly. How about that? Who's going to start? Okay, we'll have Hank say something first.
First of all, E-System and Mobile Factory has been doing for over 7 years. We were producing this panel in a manufacturing plant. It was taking 25 men to produce this panel in 45 minutes. Where now, you can see, it can do it within 10 minutes. And everybody knows the overhead of a factory, how much it costs. What we have done is took the overhead out of it, because when I was in the presentation, I heard one individual say it took 250 men to produce 500 homes in 12 months. Well, as you can see, it only takes 2 individuals to run this and 4 individuals to actually stand the house up. We actually did a competition with a house 50 meters, 3-bedroom. We stood it up, and walls, roof, ready for windows and doors. And we have a video of that on YouTube if you want to see it. We did it in less than 2 hours. So time is money, as everybody knows. So so you can split them 250 individuals and spread them out over the track. It's going to cost less money. There's no cleanup because everything is cut to spec right here in this machine. That is what the saving. That would allow us the profit to go up and the cost to go down. This trailer can go anywhere, anytime. We put the best components in this trailer. We sat down, the team and I, we sat down and we made sure it had the best axles, the best frame, because we knew it would be a different terrain where it could be used. This thing is built to last forever. Of course, nothing lasts forever. It depends on the maintenance, but this is built to last for many, many years. And if you treat it right, it should last forever. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say. The team that I have standing behind me is the people that made all this come true. And I'm very proud of all of them. I'm the CEO, he's the president, and Tony, and well, you already know the rest of us, and Mexico and everything. So if you have any questions about the factory, I'm here to answer them, or Bob, or whoever. Anybody?
Boy, that was an easy.
Come on, guys. Now is the time for you to ask your question. You've seen it, how quick this one wall of 8x10 came out.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a question. What about the roof? This is only the wall, right?
Pardon me?
This is only the wall.
The roof is made out of the same product. Same product.
How long the roof to be?
Well, you
You
can
do a
span
span,
it.
yeah. It depends on how far you want to span. Normally with a 2x4, normally with a 2x4 stud, you can span 10 feet. Okay, so on our roof panels, we have double studs on each panel, so that when you put them together, you got a 4x to span 10 feet. Okay.
The ceiling?
That's a ceiling, right?
What about the roof?
Well, that is a roof. The roof and the ceiling are there.
Oh, they're
right there.
together?
Yeah, you don't have to have it. You don't want to have a space in between the roof and the ceiling, because that's an area that then ends up getting hot or cold depending on the weather. Eventually, that's what'll happen. So this is, instead of using a truss, we use this as our roof panel.
That's very good. So whatever question, please come up here so everybody can hear the question. Please come up on this microphone.
I got the question from our Vietnamese guest. The question is, when we build this with polyethylene, we believe that on the outside, we're going to put stucco outside. What if the thief come in and try to rip it with a sharp knife? Is that will make the big hole?
He's saying that if somebody wanted to break into this, would it be easy to break into? Well, anything.
Can I answer that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to. This is just what I want to answer. That's a very valid question, anyway. I mean, if I go to my home right now and I punch the wall, it'll break through.
Not going to happen.
But if you try to punch this, it won't. But if someone deliberately come up and try to break it, I mean, even if it's concrete, if someone wants to really break it, then they'll come up with something and break it. That's just my answer. If you have any other.
The other thing too, like with a block wall, if you hit a block wall or a block house, what it does is the structural integrity of the whole wall goes away because it just shatters the wall. With this here, if you knock off one section, you just have to pull this out, put a new one in, and you're back, right back to where you were before. Okay, so if you damage one section here, you just replace that section. You don't have to replace the whole wall like you do with a block wall. Because the block wall, you've got to have all the concrete members in there. You got to be structural with the rebar.
But what you're saying is that easy to get break like that?
No, not easy to break. No, I'm saying if something ran into it or something in the corner here, all you'd have to do is replace this panel and this stud. Okay, you wouldn't have to replace the whole wall, where if you had a block wall, you're going to shatter that whole wall. You're going to have to take the whole wall back to where it's not shattered, and you're going to have to restart it all over again.
Well, no, this is pound and half density. You're not going to put your hands through this.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Maybe we could stand it up and try the strongest man here.
A sharp knife can make a hole.
Of course, it's polystyrene.
Yeah, you can make a hole in it. But not, I mean, this is the framing section. So you're going to have either stucco on the outside, or you're going to have drywall or stucco in the inside, plastering on the inside. Yeah. So then they're not going to stand.
It's not going to be by itself.
And not only that, it has a cap that goes on the outside, which is our guard, that seals the complete unit. Even though we have the foam that's into the stud, it still can radiate heat. What we wanted to do is no different as what Robert stated. What we did is we wanted to make a house that was completely insulated. In fact, you actually need fans. You should put fans in because it is so insulated. Every wall, every room these walls are in, that room is soundproof because of the 1.5 inch density. Now, something really interesting. When we designed this factory and this wall has been since 1984. But we actually patented it in 94, but we did it in 84.
Yeah.
So we thought this insulation, this polystyrene, was strictly for insulation. We thought that's all it was going to do. It was going to make a styrofoam cup where you pour hot and it stays hot, and if it stayed cold, it would stay cold. We did not ever dream. We knew it had some seismic, would help the seismic rating. But what we didn't understand until the earthquake happened in 2010 in Mexicali, where the 7.2 earthquake hit, and I think Robert has the documentation from the government. We didn't realize that when the shock hit for the earthquake, this foam absorbed the shock. It took the shock out of the house. It was designed to take the roll, but we never figured what this thing would do. In fact, out of the Mexicali area and Calexico area in California, where we build our house, we build our homes, not one of them homes had any damage. In fact, it didn't even crack the plaster, where there was houses on both sides, and all through that tract, it just fell apart, was made out of wood, block, or wood. I mean, yeah, so it happens. And the thing is, this house, the life expectancy of this house, because polystyrene will never deteriorate, or galvanized steel will never rust. So the life expectancy of this house is tremendous. They say in years and years and years, but who knows? This house is complete. We did a study in Mexicali, Mexico, where they built a 50-meter home on a block. We all agreed that we would keep the house at 75 degrees. We would put barometers, we would put, and we'd have family living in there. Well, their house made out of block, took a 4-ton air conditioner, and the average bill of that house over 5 years was $190 a month. The house payment was $125. This house, after a 5-year study, the highest bill it ever was $12. So that's what it's worth.
Now, if you look at some of the freeways around in LA now, after the Silmar earthquake, when a lot of the freeways came down, what happened was, because they're concrete, they would go to the weakest point, which was where the pilings come underneath the freeway, and it would shear it right there, and that's the way it collapsed. So if you look at some of them, you'll see they have metal around them. Inside of that metal is polystyrene, because it absorbs it, so it won't crack at that point and shear it.
This factory that we all dreamed about 7 years ago, it took 7 years to get to this point. We built a prototype, we've tested it, we've changed it, we made it faster, cheaper, and easier to work, and very low maintenance. Another thing that's very important is that we are constantly changing our product to make it better. We're 20 years in advance, way ahead of our competition. We are now involved with a board that Bob will tell you about in a minute that we're bringing in. It's going to now make this completely fireproof. There will be no way, and there'll be no way you're going to be able to burn this down. And there's no way you're going to put your hand through the wall. I guarantee you that.
It's a concrete board that we're going to be using on both sides of the house, on the inside and the outside. So it's going to eliminate the three-coat stucco process. And
I brought a hammer, and you know, I think this would probably help everyone understand that on a dry wall, you hit it with a with a hand.
You don't want to hit this with your hand. I'll tell you that.
Exactly.
When you have drywall on it.
Exactly.
You're going to break your hand because it's not going to give.
How do you prepare for the electrical?
Each one of these, along each one of these studs, there's a raceway. So let's say in this wall, in your plans,
up and down
vertically, not horizontally, vertically. Okay, so if you had, let's say, electrical box in this here, you drill a hole right here. There's a raceway in there, and what we do is when we construct the wall in there, we would run the pull rope already down there. So then all you have to do is put the box in, and you can pull your electrical right through it. The only difference between that and going horizontally is that you use a home run on each run, okay, versus splicing going over and over. Does that make?
So it comes from the top.
It comes from the top, yes.
Bob, we have a question over here, and
Come up here, please, so everybody can hear.
I just wanna,
It's Christina.
Yeah, who is she?
Hey, she's gonna probably ask something you can't answer.
I would like to buy one. Oh, sorry, I have one. No, I believe the question, I just wanted to clarify it for these people here from Vietnam. The question was, if people in Vietnam see the wall with foam, they're going to come with a knife or something and try and make a hole and break into the house. Can you please explain to them that once we get the mag board on it or whatever, that they're not going to be able to come in and cut. But they want to understand how the technology works and how they're not going to be able to come and break into the house because they see foam and the mentality is, oh, we can go in. So what we have to address that for.
Okay. Once the house is framed, let's say the 50-meter house, you're going to frame it one day. Actually, you're going to frame it in 4 hours. Okay? So then immediately you can start putting on what's called magnesium oxide board on the outside. It comes in 4x8 sheets. Okay, and it's 1/2 inch thick. And you can put that on the outside, so now it's all weatherproof and it's impact proof. Okay, so you can hit it with a hammer and it's not going to, the hammer's just and the inside both. You're going to do both of them because one of the inherent drawbacks to drywall is it breaks so easily. So that when you take it to a job site, you have probably a 10 to 20% waste factor before you even start hanging it, because of picking up with a forklift, moving over, setting it down, the ends get chipped off and everything and broken, or the board gets snapped in half. So you with this magnesium oxide board, you don't have that. Okay, so that's going to eliminate that problem. It's going to eliminate the 3-step process for stucco, which you have a scratch brown and color coat, or a scratch brown and then you finish it off. So this will be done one coat. You can put a texture coat on the outside of the coat, or you can paint it, whatever you want to do.
Also, real quick, we had the same kind of questions when we first started building this, because they were used to block or concrete. They said, "Oh, this is not going to protect us if we couldn't." So what we actually did, Bob and I, we actually designed we did for that time, we designed stucco, but we stucco both sides.
Right.
So they thought it was concrete, but it wasn't. And so we gunite it on the inside, we gunite it on the outside, and they felt it, touched it, and they said, "Oh, this is concrete." Well, it wasn't. But it still got all the benefits of the panel, but they felt the concrete, they felt they were safe.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
About the new developing concrete that you doing for fireproof.
Use the mic,
The new
use the
technology.
mic, please.
Can you use mic, please?
and
Use
then
the mic.
when he's done, then we have another question.
Yes, about the new technology you're developing, the fireproof concrete. Two questions. When is going to be available, and is you using for the roof?
Within 2 months. Okay, within 2 months we'll have it, and then it'll be available. And so then what we do is, like your house, if you had a 50-meter house, and I don't have it in front of me, but I think it's about 120 sheets per house to finish that through the inside and outside, all the interior walls and everything. Okay, and once that's put up, all you have to do, the joints, like with drywall, you have to tape them, mud it, and then sand it, and then tape it, and mud it, and do 3 times before you did. This series, but just a caulking joint in there, and that's it, you're done. Sand it, and it's ready to paint.
Is it be able to use that for roof?
Yes, it'll eliminate, it'll replace all your OSB plywood or your CDX plywood.
How that will impact the temperature inside the house?
Oh yeah, well this magboard is also fireproof, so you're not going to have any heat transmission come through. Plus you've got the polystyrene too that absorbs the energy too, or the heating.
So probably we may not need to use an AC unit and.
Depending on
the climate,
right? Or like in Mexico, when he was talking about the 50-meter house, what happened is the block house, they had a 4-ton unit to keep that 50-meter house. That's 560 square feet. They had a 4-ton air conditioning unit running, and it had to run in the summertime. Next to Cali, it fits like 125 degrees down there. They were running it 24 hours a day just to try to keep it at a normal temperature. Our house down there, we had a 1-ton unit, and we would fire it up in the morning. It'd run for like 30 to 45 minutes to cool the house down. And as long as you didn't open the windows or open the door, it would stay cool for 3 or 4 hours. So it would only cycle maybe 3 times a day. And for like 15 to 20 minutes and turn off.
Do you know the percentage of heating reduction climate on the temperature inside the house? Most likely we're using that material.
You mean, I'm sorry?
Say outside is 92 degrees and
yeah. Well, depending on what you want. If you have the air conditioning unit there, you want
without air conditioning.
Oh, without air conditioning, probably about 15 degrees. We just had a couple weeks ago. We had showed some people out in Hemet, the house that we built out in Hemet, and it's the first time in a year and a half, by the way, that they had a house for sale. So I contacted the realtor and asked him to come over and open the house so the people could go inside and look at it. And when we walked from the house side, which was about 100 degrees that day, we walked inside. Inside there, it was 80 degrees. That's a 20-degree temperature change, and there's no electricity in the house. They had it shut off. So there's no way the air conditioning run or anything was working. So just normally from that, just to having the house closed up, it was 20 degrees temperature difference.
Thank you.
We have another question over here, this young lady.
I'll get right to you.
Some of my questions is my question is roofing. My question is about the roofing. So the project that we have is the Philippines and United States. But what type of roofing that are we going to use for the Philippines and the different United States about their conditioning?
Well, you can. It depends on what you're. If you're going to have a pitched roof or you're going to have a flat roof. Most of the time on the flat roofs they use a hot mop. So it's a 3-layer hot mop that they put over the roof on that, and that's it.
Okay. So
okay.
How about the preventions that mostly that we have in the Philippines is typhoon, 120, 130
right miles per hour.
Yeah,
right.
So how strong
Kilometers.
is your roofing?
I'm sorry?
How strong is your roofing that we can hold?
Our system is that's what I'm saying. When he's telling you about engineering for it, we would engineer for that. Now, as far as the roof material itself,
Yes, the material.
that has got to be done by the contractor that does that. So it's going to depend on how he puts the product down. If he doesn't put it down properly, then it's going to blow off. If he puts it down properly, then you're not going to have any problem with it. As far as the house is concerned, it's not going to blow off.
If I may add to it as also, this is a material as well that will be used in.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So in other words, what Bob is saying is the contractor who's building the house, whatever spec they have, they'll be the one to put whatever finish they're going to put on the roof.
See, what we do with the engineering, we tie the roof to the walls to the floor. Okay, so the walls will tie to the foundation, and then the walls will also tie to the roof, so it ties the whole system together.
Yeah, because I'm saying that when the factories
Right. And everything is not even a quarter what we have here. It depends. This is an 8-foot wall. You can go 10, 12 foot high if you want to. Okay, if you do a 2-story, then you have your first floor wall, then you have your floor joists, and then you have your second floor wall that sits on top of the rest. No, this is what you just said.
In fact, the house that we did in Mexico, we did the finish the house in high water, we did 32 they were worrying about, they had less insulation.
Không bị gió thổi, không bị úng nhà. Nhà ở Việt Nam hoặc là nhà ở Mỹ nè, mình xài gỗ là cái bắn bụp mình bắn đinh mình bắn vô, khi mà gió thổi cái tụt cái đinh ra nó xuất hiện cái đinh. Còn cái này nó bắt ốc sắn này nó nhổ được. Đấy, con ốc này nhìn sao có gì nhổ được.
That's very good. That's very good. Any more questions, guys? Okay, we got one
Cái
here.
như vậy cho nên nó mới cái độ bền nó không có nó không có nhổ được. Ốc tụt cũng tự ốc ngầm
giống như là
đây đúng rồi. Anh giáo đây.
How are you going to code up this to different jurisdictions in terms of structural stability?
Well, you have an engineer. When you have a house, let's say for the house plan, you engineer that house plan for your criteria. Okay, so then you submit the engineering to the building department, and they approve it, and then you go and build it. That's what we did here. And we did this back in 2003, which nobody did it without a seal. So we had a lot of
Because I'm sure you're going to be challenged.
we've been challenged.
And you're going to do that over and over again, in each jurisdiction that you go into.
Well, no, not every building. You can see how that has a chapter on
Yeah.
HQ approved.
Yeah.
So if you would visualize HQ
No,
approved,
he what he
that's the
told
same
me
as
that
if you did with wood.
we stand
Like wood
tall
frame, you have 2x4 studs, it has a string and everything else. And so
Cho là anh
if
có
you
thể
have
làm
more load, then you go to 2x6 and you double the stud and you have same thing as this. It has a switch up.
I didn't know how feet it
I
would be there.
mean, around. Yeah, but it's around. It's like 8.
Well, ASTM is totally
8
different
is
from
around
local building and stuff. That's just the state. That's just the state.
10.
I mean, I'm talking about getting permitted for the project.
What you would do in this say,
So it's about
Dạ.
okay, and you're going to build a 14
Nó không phải một tắc cái sàn vậy là nó trung bình.
So the product that you're selling is not only just. I'm still a little bit confused about the whole product. Are you selling the manufacturing truck that will build this units? So are you going to train the crew
Yes.
that's going to build this units?
Yes.
And you're going to have the support, engineering support, that you would design make the calculations for the designs that I do, and for a fee, of course.
You answer the question. Put it on your own website. That's exactly what we did.
But you can't get this product without the factory or the representative of the owner.
so they can do the back for the higher
Exactly, I understand. I understand. But
Dạ đúng rồi.
I don't think you can bring your house.
Yeah, you need to call me or have Robert call me, and I'll come in and show you the house out here. Yeah.
Guys, I know it's a torture. I know it's a torture for all of us, but especially for this gentleman up here. If you guys are good and have seen the mobile factory, how it operates, we'd like to invite everyone to go back inside where it's a little cooler so we can finish off over there. Are you guys okay? And everyone, we'd like to invite everyone to walk through inside the mobile factory. We'd like to invite everyone to walk inside the mobile factory and come out this way, but just don't go into the truck and drive away. And then we all go back inside and finish off because we want to get to the last step of this afternoon, which is basically having our investment banking talk to you and educate you on what's the next level of ROBAMII International LLC will be.
So which one is the machine? The generator.
They already have the columns pre-made. They just put it together. What this does here, okay?
Yes.
Glad to see you again. Nice to see you. Okay, this notch is this. You see the notch here? Okay, that's what these do here. They notch.
Say it left the port, how long it takes to go over. Let's say from here to here. Well, let's say from here. Very cheap. $2 for a seat. One way ticket.
One way ticket.
Cái bạn của hai của quốc gia khác nhau. Sai rồi. Bắt đầu mà bây giờ bên kia đó là ngày từ cuối nó sẽ trước kia anh đã có tuần thảo và những vấn đề thảo ấy tại always different person. Yeah, I know. That's why I want to see this. I have to see it.
Can I have one?
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Leo.